Good evening and a Merry Christmas to you. My name is Melchior, and I would like to read to you a Christmas tale. I was part of a group of people referred to in history as the Magi, who believed we were given the role of watching heavens and recognizing what it signified on earth. We had manuscripts recording how a group of the Magi travelled to what is known today as Nepal, when the Buddha was born 500 years before Jesus. Most generations watched the heavens and charted what they saw, but each knew the possibility existed that they may be shown something that required us to act. I mean, you have in the back of your head that something startling may happen, but you never think it will happen to you. Then this night I noticed a star. I was conversing with Count Seclain when such a star appeared. It was a sign that a person of significance to the world had been born. Initially, I said nothing, worried about what it would mean. I knew that if this were such a star, that our tradition required that we should track it, and where it stopped would reveal the newborn child. We were then to play a role by giving to that child what would strengthen it in its role. But the previous accounts recorded that some of these journeys took months and at times over a year. I didn't mind being a stargazer, but this would require of my time and my life. For however long it took to trace, it would take as long to return. Others noticed the star. I guess it wasn't going to go away until we paid it attention. We met, and I, as the elder of the Magi, agreed that we would trace the star. The younger members were full of excitement. Don't get me wrong, I was too, but it would mean separation from Adrina. Perhaps it would have been easier if we had a child to have kept her occupied, but the stars had not ordained it. True, we were closer because of it, but I would happily allow a child to be between us. She was such a joyful woman that despite what it meant, she was happy that I should go and be a part of whatever the star was declaring. Our whole community prepared for our leaving, and I felt so proud as 12 of us set off, with their eagerness behind us. We met many people along the way, and they behaved in either two ways, welcoming us as guests or snubbing us as foreigners. It was then we let the camels weave their magic. You see, our camels could dance, and when they started, even the most threatened would come to see. The laughter would melt their apprehension, and when the dancing stopped, they invited us to eat with them. We would stay a day or two before wandering on. The star seemed impatient, and it was as if we stayed too long in one place, it shone so brightly that we had to cover our eyes. We quickly learned that this meant it was time to move on. It became clear that we were headed to Jerusalem, a city prior to I had only heard and read. The city of David, the most renowned king of the Israelites. As we travelled closer to it, we became aware by what we saw and what the people told us that the land was occupied by a Roman army, though they permitted the Jews to retain a king. His name was Herod. We were warned that he was unpredictable, but perhaps tired from the travelling and keen to locate this newborn king, our minds focused on Herod's palace. It was once we met him that we realized we had gone for the obvious rather than doing what we'd done until then, be guided by the star. Herod, although hospitable, was perturbed by us and our quest to locate this child. I knew it was best for us to get out of there as quick as we could, return to our quest. It seemed time was now escaping us. We were led out of Jerusalem towards a small town, Bethlehem, they called it. The place was bustling with people who were amused both by us and the camels. But there was no time for dancing camels. We needed to reach the place of the child. Becoming frustrated that we were so close but unclear of which residents would have a child, I sent a younger to knock on the doors and ask, had a child been born? One of them reported back that an innkeeper had claimed a pregnant woman was in an animal shed beside his property. The star was beginning to fade, so we went with this report. My mind was thinking of all the places for a king to be born, yet I had been told that I should not judge by human appearance, for the universe was far beyond it. And there he was, sleeping on his father's chest, while his mother slept. His poor father was taken by us parading through the animal shed, but he kept still as the child was upon his chest. We didn't want him to be awakened, nor the mother. Our job was to track the star and see it. We left the gifts that we had brought, and we also left it to his father to explain to his mother and him when he understood how the gifts arrived. We were keen to keep moving. We had a bad feeling about Herod. We began our trek home, knowing that we had completed what we had set out to do. We did not wish to bring our presence any harm to the child. On our way, we shared our story with those who would listen. We said, one day you will hear about a great man who was born in Bethlehem, and that wise men, us, from the east, came to worship him as a baby. After months of traveling, I was glad to see the familiar markings of our land, and as word spread that we had returned, our people came to greet us. Adrina appeared, and with her a baby. Puzzled, I asked, "Whose child is this?" She mouthed to me, "Ours." May you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.